All right, moving on. To further show how they're weaponizing the DOJ, we're going to go into this Rudy Giuliani. Oh, did we not? We did not click over yet. There we go. Boom. Feds raid Rudy Giuliani's home, escalating criminal probe. All right. 5 minute breakdown to track a new president. What? I don't care about your fucking tracking of the new president. Whatever. New York. Federal agents raided Rudy Giuliani's Manhattan home and office Wednesday, seizing computers, cell phones, and major escalation of the Justice Department and investigations into the business dealings of former Donald Trump's personal lawyer. They are coming after anyone who has ever worked, or they're coming after all of us. Trump, they're coming after all of us. Giuliani, the 76-year-old former New York mayor, once celebrated for his leadership after 9/11, has been under federal scrutiny for several years over his ties in Ukraine. The dual search sent the strongest signal yet that he could eventually face federal charges. Agents searched Giuliani's Madison Avenue apartment and Park Avenue office. People familiar with the investigation told the Associated Press the warrants, which required approval from top-level Justice Department, signed. The prosecutors believe they have probable cause that Giuliani committed a federal crime. They do not guarantee the charges will be materialized. He committed a federal crime, like persecuting your political rivals. You know who else politicized the Department of Justice? Hitler. The second, people said that it was going to get better. You voted for Joe Biden, and it's not getting better. It's getting fucking worse. A third search warrant was served on a phone belonging to Washington lawyer Victoria Townsend, a former federal prosecutor and close ally of Giuliani and Trump. Her law firm issued a statement saying she was informed that she is not a target of the investigation. The full scope of the investigation is unclear. It is at least partly involved Giuliani's dealings in Ukraine, law enforcement officials have told AP. So you're arresting him about Ukraine because you did some bullshit in Ukraine, Biden. The president did some bullshit in Ukraine, too. Fucking politicized Department of Justice. This shit's fucking garbage. The people discussed and searched in Wednesday developments could not do so publicly and spoke to the AP on conditions of anonymity. News of the search was first reported to the New York Times. In a statement issued through his lawyer, Giuliani accused federal authorities of a corrupt double standard, invoking allegations he pushed against prominent Democrats, and said that the Justice Department was running roughshod over the constitutional rights of anyone involved or legally defending former. But that's true. Mr. Giuliani respects the law, and he can be demonstrated that his conduct as a lawyer and a citizen was absolutely legal and ethical, the statement aid. Burkick, who served as New York Police Commissioner during the September 11th attacks and is a long-term Giuliani friend, said the former mayor called him as agents were searching his home on Wednesday morning. Carrick, who had been pardoned by Trump for felony convictions that put him behind bars for 3 years, declined to describe the friend's mood or reactions, but expressed alarm at the raid, saying agents shouldn't have been there in the first place. How can these people say they're working against them like this crap when they're fucking propagating this crap? I think it's extremely concerning, he said. Giuliani's son, Andrew Giuliani, told reporters that raids were disgusting and absolutely absurd. I mean, they are. A Justice Department spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request. If you had this and this was going on, you shouldn't have sat on it. You should have just... No, it's because this is fucking political retribution. A Justice Department spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan and the FBI's New York office declined to be comment. I mean, there was a time where if this happened, I would have said they had a real damn good reason, but I can't anymore. The federal probe in Giuliani's declared Ukraine dealings stalled last year because of the dispute over investigation tactics as Trump unsuccessfully sought a second term. Giuliani subsequently took a leading role in disputing the election results on the Republicans' behalf. Wednesday's raids came months after Trump left office and lost his ability to pardon allies for federal crimes. The former president himself no longer enjoys the legal protections the Oval Office once provided him, though there is no indication Trump is eyed in this probe. I mean, it is. It's all about their orange man bad vendetta, thinking we're all domestic terrorists, even though they're ones burning down half the country. Don't get me wrong, I understand this police garbage going on and shit like that, but don't become what you hate. Trump's spokesperson did not immediately respond to questions about Wednesday's events. Many people in Trump's orbit have been ensnared in previous federal investigations, including special counsel Robert Mueller's probe of Russian election interference. Some, like former General Flynn, Roger Stone, and Paul Manafort, were pardoned. While there were discussions about preemptive pardon for Giuliani, it did not materialize. Trump, his aides, and many prominent backers were silent on the action Wednesday, with no widespread denunciations or witch hunt claims. Trump, who remained barred from the Twitter, issued a statement on the Arizona election recount, but steered clear of defending his long-term lawyer, whose loyalty he had long professed to admire. Giuliani was central to the president's effort to take up dirt against the Democratic rival Joe Biden and to press Ukraine for an investigation into Biden and his son Hunter, which should still go on, who himself now faces a criminal tax probe by the Department of Justice. It's double standard. They're both accused of the same thing, but only one's being investigated. That is totalitarian fascist garbage. Giuliani also sought to undermine former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Mary Yovovich, who was pushed out Trump's orders and met several times with the Ukrainian lawmaker, who released edited recordings of Biden in an effort to smear him before the election. The double standard here, it's palpable, and it's hard to ignore anymore. Like, this is the last state. Like, that would be the Nazi enforcement force is going to come for you. That's what they are. The NEF, the Nazi enforcement force. I'm going to make a NEF T-shirt. It said the warrant an allegation that Giuliani failed to register as a foreign agent, and that investigative document mentioned John Solomon, a former columnist and frequent Fox News commentator with close ties to Giuliani, who pushes baseless or uncensored allegations involving Ukraine and Biden. They're not baseless in substantiation, Washington Post, but it's the other Washington Post, so I can't blame you for framing it the way you are, since you're infiltrated by far left Antifa's garbage. Phone records published by House Democrats in 2019 in the wake of Trump's first impeachment trial show frequent contacts involving Giuliani, Solomon, and Lev Parnas. So Giuliani associated on an indictment on charges of using foreign money to make illegal campaign contributions. Contacted Wednesday, Solomon said it was news to him that the Justice Department was interested in any communications he had with Giuliani, though he said it was not entirely surprising given the issues raised in the impeachment trial. He was someone that tried to pass information to me. I didn't use most of it. Solomon said of Giuliani, if they want to look at that, there's not going to be anything surprising in it. So, I mean, he seems like he doesn't want anything to hide. He seems like he's not really worried about this. So, I mean, if he's not guilty and he's acting like he's not worried about this, like the justice system's going to exonerate him, he's a fucking moron, because they're the Nazi enforcement force. I'm just fucking saying. And they're going to come to a house near you.